Thank you, and thank you, Professor. And you have both touched, I think, on a number of themes that all of our youth leaders really wrestle with. And I want to just pick up on the one about how traditions and faith come together to create difficult conditions. We heard a little bit about it before, and Garsani works directly on this issue in Afghanistan. So, Garsani, I wonder if you could just talk a little bit about your work.
Sure. I'm Garsanai from Afghanistan, and I'm working with traditional leaders, religious scholars, and community leaders, bringing them together to use them as a support network for women empowerment, for peace, because I believe that if women are not engaged in the peace process, we cannot achieve peace at all. And that gets me back to the story that my midterms are finished, and now I'm in Kabul. And I'm leaving to Nangarhar province, which is a more conservative province, going there and having a workshop with community leaders and religious scholars, and inviting them from 24 districts of Nangarhar province. And I go to the Directorate of Pilgrimage. I'm along with my sister and with my another team member who is also a female. And we ask them for cooperation, that how you can cooperate with us to invite these religious scholars together. And they're looking at me and saying that, well, you are too young, and you are a woman, and how are you expecting those religious scholars and tribal elders to come sit with you and listen to you? But I'm like, no, I can do it. And then I have some contacts with the Ministry of Pilgrimage as well, and I contact them, and then they contact the directorate, and finally we are able to bring these ulamas together. Now the interesting point here is that when we bring the ulamas together with me not having a home in Nangarhar, and still in a very hot weather, we try to manage things. And the 100 ulamas come together, and the theme of the workshop is that how we can have women's strong engagement in the peace process, and how we can use these ulamas and tribal elders and religious scholars as a support network back in their communities to raise their voices for women's education. Because it's not only just women's education or women empowerment, but it's also helping the entire community socially, economically, politically, and in the peace process. And what really hurts me at that moment is that these ulamas are coming and saying that we are already doing enough. We have already raised our voices. And they are not accepting the fact that it is important for women to be very, very involved in those areas. But we also use some other techniques, bringing us how your Holiness mentioned that we bring some modern ulamas from the government, and then they start raising the point that yes, women empowerment is important, and then there is an encouragement in a type of type of plot is being created there, type of tension is created there, and they start thinking about it, which was effective to an extent. But when I am engaged with these people and at the same time engaged in the policy level, so see, when the grassroots level is there and then the policy level is there, both are fighting for power, both are fighting for getting the dominancy and for getting the type of things that they want. So my question would be that if you could share your experiences, because my long-term goal is like for 20 years, for 30 years from now onwards, to bring all these religious scholars back to one network. How would your experience could help me, like in different phases of your life that you were engaged with the religious scholars, and could shape the work that I'm doing, both in the grassroots level and from the top to down approach as well?
Oh, difficult to say. I think in order to give you satisfactory, realistic suggestion, let me spend some time there. And meet hardliner and more talk.
Bottom line, right? Meet and talk, bottom line, yeah?
I think one example, my own case, about, I think, more than 40 years ago, I sort of was the urge monks, nuns, traditionally not carry serious study. Then I asked them, you should study, introduce serious study, 20 years, like that. So then, then I also used to urge nunneries should study equal way with monk usually do. Some of these monk institutions do. So at that time, some little bit of reservation. Because the Kishima does the Yungaris, Kishima.
When His Holiness suggested that women should also study Buddhist philosophy, nuns should also study Buddhist philosophy, there were some elderly monks who were resistant to that idea, that Geshima, which is like a PhD degree, when you finish your study of philosophy, we may not be able to give this degree to the nuns. So there was some kind of resistance.
So then I argue, Buddha himself give us equal opportunity, bhikshus and bhikshuni, the highest, the ordinated monk, bhikshus, and similarly for female bhikshuni. So since Buddha himself give equal sort of right, so the study is concerned also, we should make equal. So then we start. Now last year, the 20. The nun, you see, because also I think at least around 20 years serious study. Now their knowledge reached such a level, so we give the degree like that. So this is something new. Originally, because at the beginning, a little bit sort of surprising, so not easily accept. But then time passes, okay. So you should, I think, there to build a community. You see, I think whole people should make effort. So everywhere, I think male and female number, I think more or less equal. So with full sort of cooperation with male by female, then countries, villages development is much effective. Women without education remain there, it suffer. The whole community. I think if I'm one of you, I may argue that way. Female and male is the two hand and intelligence there. So we have same potential. Work together with education. Then I think important, we have to sort of educate. The feudal system is outdated. My own case, as this morning I mentioned, at least the last 4 centuries, Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both temporal and spirituality. Now that I myself, retired, but also the 4th century old tradition, Dalai Lama institution, automatically become head of both, now cease voluntarily, happily, proudly. So, Dalai Lama institution become head of both is some connection with the feudal system. Feudal system is outdated. Now today's world, democratic sort of democratic movement. So all sort of sign or In India also, you see the caste system, very much related with feudal system. The ruling class have certain right to exploit lower class. So these are outdated. So therefore, some of the tradition, even in the name of religion, now have to change. Not through revolution, but through education. So in that respect, I have some sort of, let's say, sympathetic or some agreement, the French Revolution or Bolshevik Revolution. See, they against the religion, something like that. But actually, what is religion? Compassion is religion. Forgiveness is religion. Nobody can against that. The Bolshevik, the original sort of Marxism, very much concerned about working class people's right. So equal distribution. The capitalist, the elite people, exploit the working class people is unequal, because it is wrong. So working class people should have right voice. So Bolshevik, the Marxism, I think wonderful. So as far as socio-economic theory is concerned, I am Marxist. Half Buddhist, half Marxist, and then half scientist. So therefore, now these some sort of tendency to against religion, not religion, but religious institution. Religious institution very much mixed with feudal system. So that part must change. So when situation is such necessary to revolt, worthwhile. Do you agree or disagree?
I